So with that in mind, we're going to roll on to our fourth game here in Week 11. This is a big one. We've got 20th ranked Colorado, the Buffs, traveling to Lubbock to face the Texas Tech Red Raiders at 4 p.m. on Saturday afternoon. The ESPN FPI has Colorado at 64%, and the spread has Colorado at 3.5 as of this episode. Colorado is looking really good this year so far, looking much better than last year. They're at 6-2, coming off a much needed bye week. I've got to say, they've got to be happy in Boulder. I mean, last season they won 4 games after all the hype surrounding Prime, and everybody's like, "Oh, he's a fraud, he's a fraud," and now they've won 6 games. Now, and honestly, they had K-State on the ropes. They really did. So Colorado still very much in the running in the Big 12. Their last opponent was Cincinnati, who they beat 34-23, and before Arizona, who they destroyed 34-7. Texas Tech, however, is coming off a big upset of Iowa State, and that game was just really wild. I did see a highlight where Iowa State went for the lead, and the kicker was about 47 yards to the right. So again, kickers wanted in Des Moines, if you will. Texas Tech's QB could be underestimated in this matchup, but he's sitting at 2,300 yards with 19 touchdowns and 5 interceptions through 9 games. It does seem like Colorado has found a defense of some kind, but how will it hold up against this up and down Texas Tech offense? One other thing I did want to look at for this game is Travis Hunter. Of course, we know Travis Hunter plays both sides of the ball, but to this point in the year, he has 60 receptions for 757 yards, 8 touchdowns, and averaging 12.6 yards per catch. Last season, for all of the year, he had 57 receptions for 721 yards for the same average of 12.6 per reception. Now, we could talk about Ashton Jeanty from Boise, and we can talk about multiple quarterbacks, but Travis Hunter has played some good ball this year. I'm not going to say he's the Heisman, but he's played some good ball. He's already outclassed last season in 2/3 of the year. With that in mind, Mason, you're going first. Who you got?
Well, I just want to say that Texas Tech's quarterback, Morton, has thrown 6 less interceptions than Carson Beck this year. I don't know, dude. This one's honestly a tough one because, like you said, you have Texas Tech, who's coming off this big emotional win against Iowa State by a point, 23-22. They knock off the undefeated team. But they've also got losses to TCU and Baylor, got wins against Arizona, Cincinnati, Arizona State, North Texas. This was really difficult, dude, because I want to look at Colorado and I want to say, hey, this is a team that definitely could make. I mean, they're second in the Big Ten right now. They've only lost one conference game to Kansas State, but you're looking at a team who really could make it. And I really want to look at them and say, like, yeah, like they could definitely go into Texas Tech and win this game with the spread only being 3.5 points in their favor. But man, I think I'm gonna have to go with Texas Tech on this one, dude. I do like Colorado, however, I think Texas Tech, they've got a tough team over there, and it's at their house, and Colorado's going to be coming on the road, and this will be a tough team that they have to face. Give me the Red Raiders in this one for good old Mike Leach.
Yeah, this is a tough one. I also want to add in that Texas Tech has one of the better running backs in the league right now. He's really performing very well. It could be because of that, that passing offense that's opening up some holes for him in that line. But I will say this: Colorado did perform very well at Arizona against an Arizona offense who at least was supposed to have a very threatening team when it came to throwing the ball, and Colorado absolutely shut that down. They also, Arizona's quarterback, also being a scrambling quarterback, really couldn't get anything out of it. This is a tough one. I think Texas Tech is a great team, but I gotta take into account, they did have a big win against Iowa State last week, and they're coming down a little bit, so I think that Colorado will win this. I think both teams are kind of like an up and down kind of team in a sense. They play really well one week, and then the next, maybe not nearly as good as they were the week before. But I think Colorado is the more consistent team out of the two. So, yeah, I got to pick Colorado here. unfortunately.
I'm going to make this relatively easy. You know what? Yeah, I've got the Buffs on Saturday evening in Lubbock. I think it'll be a great game. I do like Colorado to cover, but I'd say probably a touchdown, no more. Like we're talking 7 points or less. It's basically a 4 point spread if they're going to cover at the 3.5 mark. I like the Buffaloes. I do think they get a tough road win and to pick up their 7th win of the year. Prime they've looked good this year. I mean, it's hard to. I think of a guy I work with who's a big Florida State fan, and he does not like Dion at all. And so every post that is about Colorado, I see a comment from Jim, and he's throwing him under the bus. He's like, "Yeah, Colorado sucks." I'm like, "Well, listen, they look better this year. I think they'll look good again on Saturday. I do think they win this game, and I think it will be a good Saturday for the fans in Boulder."